going. And hopefully that, yeah, we're good. All right. Oops, do that. Can you all see the participant bar on the left or no? Megan, can you see that?
Yeah, it's available. Yeah, I see that. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. And we got a few more students, so let me let them in. Okay, well, welcome everybody. We'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for your patience. My name is Kim Burton. I'm one of the study abroad advisors here in the study abroad office here at UC San Diego. And it's my pleasure to have you here this afternoon talking about summer study abroad in the UKI and Ireland. And we are joined by my colleague, Megan White. And Megan is the UCEAP program specialist for a number of programs in England, including the summer programs that we'll be talking about today. And Megan works at the system-wide UCEAP office, which is in Santa Barbara. And if you do apply and are accepted to a UCEAP program, once you're accepted, all of the information from that point on to pre-departure to studying abroad will come from Megan and the system-wide office. So thank you for being here, Megan. And please just jump in, join in at any time, add to anything that I say. Is there anything that you want to say right now?
No, not right off the bat, but I can be here for about the next 20 minutes or so. So I'll try to add anything I can in that time. Yeah.
Please do. Just holler. So not a problem. Just dive in.
Thank you.
So again, sure. Again, we're talking about just summer programs. There's a separate information session for programs during the academic year. And you should be able to put questions in the chat at the end. So I'll be here to answer. And just keep in mind, this is a broad overview of the options. We're not going to get into a lot of detail because there's not a lot of time, but it's a broad overview. And this is a good starting point for your planning for study abroad moving forward. So let me see if that works. No, it doesn't. Okay. So first things first, hopefully summer, all of you have already attended one of our Get Started information sessions, or you've completed the Get Started online course, and that's Get Started with Study Abroad in general. If you haven't done that, please do that before you get any further into the process, because it should help you understand the differences between all of the program options and how a lot of the processes work for study abroad. And so you can find that information on our website, which is studyabroad.ucsd.edu. So why summer and why the United Kingdom and Ireland? So why do students choose to study abroad in the summer? For a lot of students, this is the time when you're freer, you're not restricted with courses that may be only offered in a certain quarter. You may have more free time. There are a lot of academic and personal reasons why students choose summer. And there are pros and cons to all of these things, and we'll talk about some of these moving through the session. But that's a big reason. And summer is our largest term when students are studying abroad, regardless of the program that they are choosing. Also, if any of you are non-California residents, summer is a term in which that non-California resident tuition is not charged. All students pay the same tuition in summer. And so for UCEAP programs, summer, that's another reason why students would choose summer. You're not having to pay that additional non-California resident tuition. And the never charged in OAP, there in parentheses, if you were to look at one of our non-UC programs, at any time during the year, you wouldn't pay that non-resident tuition at any time. So that's something we can talk about later. And then a lot of students find it's easier to get into the UK summer programs than fall or year. Maybe the criteria is different, the eligibility is different. The programs are set up for different groups of students in the summer. And so, maybe it's just easier for you to do that. And so that's another reason why students choose to go in summer. Why the UK and Ireland? Obviously, there are many top institutions in Europe that are in the UK and Ireland, and students are attracted to those opportunities. There are programs with very varied academic experiences and also different types of learning, smaller individualized kind of learning that you get in Cambridge or Oxford. And again, so other opportunities and research that students will choose in these locations. And then there's English. And so a lot of students choose, programs in the UK and Ireland because no language is an issue. And as you can see, the UK is the most popular destination for all US degree-seeking students to study abroad. And in large part, it is due to the language, but not solely, but in large part, it is due to that. All right, really quick review of program types before we get into the nitty-gritty. So we have 3 major programs that are run by UC or UCSD on which we send students. And you can see here there's UCEAP, and that's mostly what we're going to be talking about today, although there are global seminars in the UK and Ireland for summer. We will touch on those. Global Exchange, there are not any of those programs in the summer, so we won't be talking about Global Exchange. But in terms of EAP and global seminars, if you look at the course credit over on the left, students can use the courses taken on UCEAP and global seminars to meet degree requirements. Usually those have to be petitioned with your academic department or your college if you're using them for GE, but they can fulfill those requirements. You will earn UC credit on either of these programs, and the grades will also be averaged into your UC GPA automatically. And then the courses and the grades that you take on UCEAP or the global seminars will appear on your UC transcript as if you took them here. And so that's a feature that many students really like and appreciate. Jumping down to the application information, you can see that the UCEAP deadlines, I double checked, the summer deadlines are, I believe, all in January, except Oxford is in December. And we'll talk about that when we get to that slide. Just to clarify the 2 to 3 apps comment there. So basically, students you'll do your application in the UCEAP portal. So that's how UCEAP gets their information about you. And then we have our own portal here, which is called Tritons Abroad. And that's how we track students who are studying abroad. And unfortunately, the two don't talk to each other. So students do need to do the application in both, but they're really pretty straightforward. So certainly in Tritons Abroad, that system pulls all your basic information in from the mainframe computer, so you don't have to enter your major, your address, or whatever. You just need to go in and tell it which program and term you're applying to. And that's basically and agree to certain policy issues. And then that's basically the application in Tritons Abroad. So there's no essays, no letters of nothing like that. In UCEAP in the portal, sometimes it can be as basic as just completing the application. And other times there may be, letters required or transcripts or whatever. And so it will tell you that when you look at the application instructions. Also for UCEAP, there are some institutions, some hosts abroad that do require you to complete their actual institution a summer application. So not a regular application, but a summer application. And that can happen either at the same time you're doing the UCEAP application or after. So Megan, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that.
Yeah, so like you said, the UCEAP application, they're all going to require a transcript upload.
Okay.
For the summer, most of them really don't have anything else that's required. The host application either will give you a link and information on how to apply right in your UCEAP application, so that you can go ahead and get started on that right away. That's usually because they're going on a rolling basis. They want to make sure you get your application in as soon as possible. Some of them will give to you after you're nominated for the program later in January, February. And yeah, and we'll give you the application information then. Most of the programs you will have to submit a host institution application.
Okay, thanks, Megan. So did you say some of those, because they're rolling, students can go ahead and do those before before the EAP application opens on November 14th?
They should wait until after. I'll have the instructions in the UCEAP application.
Oh,
so
okay.
It'll kind of be at the same time once you're applying for UCEAP. It's just important that if there's any special instructions for EAP students, that you kind of have a chance to read through those while you're applying, but you can do it before you're nominated by your campus or anything like that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add on the apps?
A couple of them will have a letter of recommendation requirement. Cambridge and Oxford. So if you're thinking about those programs, that's something to kind of keep in mind, that you might need to be looking for someone to ask for. A few of them have application fees. So that's something to consider. Usually less than $100 US. I think it's going to be Cambridge and London School of Economics that have those. That's kind of the basics for now. Yeah. And we'll have all of this information in your application as well.
Great. Thanks, Megan. That's super helpful.
Yeah.
And for students, if you're looking at UCAP, it's true the summer application doesn't open until November 14th, but you should be able to log in and see the application instructions like now, is what I'm being told. And so so you should go in and take a look at those. Are those all updated yet, Megan?
I'm not sure. I think some of them are still being worked on. I know
Okay.
I'm still working on a few of these as well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's coming.
It's definitely by November, those will be ready. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
And I'll explain later, you'll have the opportunity to reach out to Megan and some of her colleagues if you have follow-up questions today. So you don't need to track on all of this today. It's complicated and there's a lot of moving pieces. So we understand that. Quickly moving on then to global seminars. If you're looking at those programs, which are our faculty-led, UCSD faculty leading small groups of students abroad to teach courses in the summer. Those deadlines are rolling, opening November 1, I believe, through March, and it's just the one application in Triton's Abroad. And again, we'll touch on global seminars. They have their own information sessions, and I'll talk about that when we get there. So really quickly about finances, and then I want to move into UCAP so we get Megan's input before she needs to log off. Generally speaking, there is less financial aid in summer. And that is the same whether you're going to stay here at UC San Diego and take summer courses or you're going to study abroad. And that's because summer is not a regular quarter of the academic year. So, for example, you can see below in the chart, there is Pell Grant available in summer if you have that eligibility. The institutional aid, those check marks are like really weird. I see what happened. Something moved. So there is institutional aid, which is usually a loan. And no, I'm sorry, UCSD grant that is available in the summer. And then there's federal and private loans. That's where those 3 check marks belong. There's no Cal Grant funding in the summer, and that's because the state of California doesn't provide it to universities in the summer. So generally speaking, there's less aid for students. The last couple of years, the maximum amount of Pell Grant and the maximum amount of that institutional aid, which is UCSD grant, has been around $2,000, again, depending on your eligibility. And so $4,000 max, and then the rest of the money for your budget for your summer program would need to be made up by you or by loans or other scholarships or other resources. So just be aware as you're looking for summer, that's one of the quote negative unquote things that we could call just a challenge in summer is less financial aid. But again, the majority of our students do choose to go abroad in summer. We are really fortunate. We're one of only 3 campuses in the UC system that has a designated study abroad advisor in our financial aid office. His name is Eduardo. He's fantastic. Eduardo is in our VAC study abroad drop-ins on Friday mornings if you want to talk with him, or you can also email the address here. And again, this is all over our website. But he will be able to, I would say, sometime in winter quarter, look at your specific financial aid and give you an approximate, an estimate as to what your aid for your summer program might look like. So anyway, we do have a great resource. You can see over on the right, our students do get study abroad scholarship funds, and those are provided by a number of sources to help them study abroad. And I won't go into those details because we do have sessions about them. But also we do help students in winter quarter with scholarship essay writing workshops. So definitely let us help you with the financial pieces as well as you're working on your planning. Okay, now my arrow key. So, okay, so let's talk about UCAP. So Megan, jump in. Again, these are very much overviews. All of this information is straight off the website, so I'm really not going to read it to you, but I'm going to try to pull out some pieces that may be helpful for you. One thing I would say is as you're going through the UCAP website and you're looking at the different options for summer in the UK, please make sure you click on the academics tab, which is on the left side of any of the program pages. It will give you much more detailed information about the academics, about the courses, the disciplines that are available in these locations. the structure of the courses, the academic culture of the institution, all of those things that you need to know that might help you make a decision if you don't already have an idea of where it is you want to go. It'll mention, that a lot of in courses, their faculty are taking students out into the city to see what they're learning about, all kinds of details in that section. And so that's going to be really valuable for you to look at, especially if you're really concerned about the courses you'll be taking and how they're going to help you meet your degree requirements. So you can see with Cambridge, it's about an hour outside of London. It is the most popular, has been the most popular UK summer program for UC San Diego students in the last few years. You can see the photos. It is a traditional UK campus, absolutely beautiful. All majors welcome at Cambridge. You can see the eligibility criteria. Calendar's about 6 weeks, I think, and 3 courses. Students do have an option of replacing one of those courses with an independent study if you'd like to do that. And then you can see the housing listed here for you. And then just noting on all the slides, the Triton Abroad application is open now. You can do that. And then the UCEAP application opens at 9 a.m. on November 14th. Anything on this one you want to add, Megan? She's still, Megan, are you still
Yeah,
there?
I just realized I was on mute. Sorry. So this program, you're going to really want to look into ahead of time, see if this is something you want to commit to. We recommend everyone apply as soon as possible. There's a lot of space in this program, so it's not, a first come, first served situation. However, an earlier application means you'll have more choices when it comes to housing and courses. The less expensive housing options will fill up faster. So if you wait a little bit longer, you might be left with the more expensive options. You also do need to pay for your housing in full in order to confirm your place on the program. So you really want to, make sure you're prepared, you've looked into this, and you're ready to commit once you commit. Because otherwise you'll be out a few $1,000s if you pay for your housing and then decide later to withdraw.
Thanks, that's super helpful. So with the Cambridge model, they're paying Cambridge directly for housing.
For housing, yeah.
Yeah, not paying through CAP. Okay.
Right.
Great. Those are really great tips. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to Oxford, similar to Cambridge, again, that name recognition. Oxford is very much a limited capacity program, and I'm going to ask Megan to talk about that. Again, hour outside of London, classic campus, all majors. You can see the higher GPA. Also, Oxford, you must be junior or senior standing, where I think almost all of these other summer programs allow sophomores. So you want to note that. Dates are similar, 2 courses for this program, not 3. And again, you can replace one with the independent research, similar to Cambridge. But Oxford really is very much limited capacity. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that, Megan, or about that issue.
Yeah, just again, you'll want to look into this one ahead of time. If you think you want to apply to this one, you should do so right when applications open in mid-November. It typically fills up in a couple of weeks. But also make sure that it is something that you want to do because you are taking one of the spots. It's a great program. Both Cambridge and Oxford are really great options.
Great, thanks. And actually, I was going to share that we had a student this past year who had their heart set on going to Oxford, and then there were space issues and they didn't get a space. And so UCAP was able to offer them a space in Cambridge. And so the student jumped on it, and Megan and I actually just heard from them last week, and they said they had an absolutely fantastic time in Cambridge, and it was a great experience for them, and they really loved it. And so again, if you're open, if you're flexible, if it turns out that your first choice isn't available, there are other great options. So I was very excited to get that feedback and to hear that student was so excited, because they really did have their heart set on Oxford, but it all worked out. So so just a reminder to be open as you're looking at options. Okay. University of College London, this is the first campus that's actually in the city of London that we're talking about. So if you really want to be in London, hustle bustle, major city, this is one option that you can consider, of course. Again, you can see the GPA eligibility, the dates for the program. This comes together, so you would have 2 3-week sessions with a short break in between, and students take 1 course per session. So you're getting 2 courses total. And again, you can see the information about the housing and also the application. So anything else you want to say about this one?
So University College London is has been for years, one of our most popular programs for the semester and year. It fills up fast. People want to go. Something to consider for summer is that you have a much better idea of what courses are going to be available. UCL can be difficult, when you get there for a fall term and you find out you're not going to be able to get exactly the courses you wanted. You may have a smaller selection of courses. So this is a really good opportunity to go to this university, see in advance what kind of courses are going to be available, what you'll be able to take. And again, yeah, it is right in central London. Yeah, so it's a great program as well.
Thanks, Megan. That's super helpful. And you let me know how we're doing on time, because I realize I don't have a clock in front of me. So, okay, London School of Economics, another campus with great name recognition. As you can see, they're on the top, known for economics, business management, and poli-sci. So those are the main disciplines available. Note the eligibility. The GPA is 285, but if you're looking to take upper division courses, it's actually a 3.3. So you want to be aware of that. And with LSE, you actually have some options in terms of how long you want to be there. So you can see it's 3 to 6 weeks as an option, mid-June to mid-August, depending on when you choose to go. So you actually can choose to do one 3-week session, if I've got that right. Yeah, it looks like 2 to 3 weeks per session. You can choose to just do one session if you want to, or to do session 1 and 2 together, or session 2 and 3 together. And so it's one course per session. So, so you would end up obviously with 1 to 2 courses based on that. And then note that some of the upper division level courses may have prerequisites. And so I don't know, Megan, if there's anything you can add about any of those issues. Have the prereqs been issues for students in the past?
I don't think that they have. Students really work closely with LSE directly on their course registration.
Oh, great.
But it's pretty clear on the website what the prerequisites are. So if you have those, it's not a problem. If you're in the process of taking a prerequisite, you can also let LSE know. They may require kind of a note from a professor just saying, that you're making progress in this course and you're expected to pass, or something like that. So I don't think that's been a problem. And then I just wanted to add also, we've changed the session. The session available so it's still going to be kind of the same options, but instead of being able to take session 1 on its own, it'll be session 2 on its own. So you can take sessions 1 and 2, 2 and 3, or just session 2 by itself. And that's reflected on the website. So
great.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to get it fixed.
And then one more thing with LSE, housing fills quickly. So this is one of the ones that we will give you the application early on so that you can get your application in, get going on that. As soon as you have an acceptance from LSE, you can go ahead and apply for housing. I recommend that you apply right away once you have your acceptance. There's a pretty lenient cancellation policy for housing, so just get that, hold on to it. It does fill up quickly, and it's not easy to find housing in London for 2-3 weeks if you're just looking on your own. So we really recommend students kind of apply early for that. There's plenty of space in the program. There's not, housing will fill up though in early spring.
Great, thank you. That's super helpful information. Appreciate it. All right, if you want to go completely different direction and be by the beach, then you can choose summer in Sussex. Again, an hour to London, so easy access if you want to go in for the weekend or an evening, but you don't need to live in the big city if you don't want to. And this is definitely a coastal campus. You can see the eligibility, lots of flexibility, availability for students. And again, it's just the 2-3 week sessions, one course per session. And then the dorms, arranged with the program. Is there anything else you want to say about details about Sussex, Megan?
I actually don't work with our Sussex program, unfortunately, okay. So I don't really have anything to add. And I am going to have to head out just now.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'll put my email address in the chat. If anybody has any questions for me specifically, please feel free to reach out to me.
Thanks, Megan. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Bye. Yes, and I can connect with Megan as well. So, but anyway, yeah, lots of students do enjoy, if you're looking for something coastal, being in Sussex. So, you can take a look at that as well. If any of you are interested in a research program, this is the summer research program in Glasgow, which is in Scotland, and is really it is really a research program. There are not courses, it's one research project, as you can see here, and you can see the disciplines that are available. Note that you do need to have completed your first 2 years of lower division major courses, so this is a program for juniors and seniors. But if you're really interested in doing a research program and having that experience, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to have that. And so just something else for you to consider if this sounds like it would be of interest to you. Okay, a couple of quick notes. There are some additional programs that didn't get their own slide, and that's not to slight them. But just to let you know, if any of you are interested in art or business, we do have a summer program at Sotheby's Institute of Art, which if you're into art, you probably know the name, but it is a very prestigious art institution. You'd have access to a lot of museums, galleries, art fairs, and then the auction house, which Sotheby's is very famous for. So you can see 4 weeks in July. The eligibility is there. For art or business students, and there's just the one course offered. It's called the Global Art Market. You can see the details of it on the EAP website, and there may be a syllabus. I can't remember if that's posted. But if any of you are interested in art, then Sotheby's is something to look into. And then the Dublin Chemistry program, I wanted to talk about this and also the summer physics programs that you'll see on the website. So the Dublin Chemistry program was to allow students to get through, chemistry courses, like you can see where it satisfied Chem 41AB and 43C in just a summer program in 8 weeks. So it's very intensive. The same with the summer physics programs to complete first year physics. And they were very attractive programs for our students. Unfortunately, both programs were approved by this one by chemistry through 2023, and the summer physics programs by physics through summer 2023, and they've not been renewed. So I know that the physics department is not renewing their approval at this point of the summer physics programs. So if any of you are listening and we're hoping to do summer physics, that would be a risk that you would do the program, take them, and that physics would not approve those courses. So you probably don't want to do that. I haven't had a chance to follow up with chemistry yet about this one, and I will do that. So if any of you are interested in the Dublin Chemistry program, you can check back with me in a couple weeks, and I'll see if I can get an answer from them about pre-approval. It may be fine. I just don't know, and I do need to follow up with them. So did want to mention these two programs. There are also 2 new programs that you'll see on the EAP website. One is Summer at Queen Mary in London, and that information is already posted to the website. There's also a new summer program at the University of Stirling in Scotland, and last time I checked, that information was not posted to the website yet. So I know that they're still working on those, but there are a couple of additional options that should be available in the next couple of weeks, and certainly prior to the date when the applications open on November 14th, before we get to that point. So just to make you aware of that. All right, switching gears, if you wanted to think about doing a global seminar in the summer instead of UCAP, then these are the global seminars that are offered. And again, global seminars are our UCSD faculty leading small groups of students, maximum is 28 students abroad, to take 2 UCSD courses. And so if you look at the website, which is globalseminar.ucsd.edu, and you can also access that through our website, through the Study Abroad website, you can actually see the courses that are offered. So these are just the titles of the programs that I've listed here. But you'll have a chance, if you look at the website, to explore those further. One of the really cool things about the global seminars is they'll do the Meet the Professor information sessions. And if you go to the website, the links to all of those sessions are there. I believe they're having students register in advance, like you did for today. But you can actually hear the professor talking about what they're going to teach when you're there, where they're going to take you to see what's happening, in the location, and all the great things that you'll be doing with them. They're really pretty exciting to listen to. And so I really encourage you, if you're interested in global seminars, to go to those sessions. You can do as many as you want, learn from the faculty, what's available, and then make a decision. So there are a number of global seminars, like you can see the Revelle in Edinburgh. or the 6 college internships, which I believe is open to students from any college. But you can, students can meet their college requirements in that way. But also those programs are open to students from any program. I believe the Contemporary World History in London is also related to MMW for Roosevelt students, if I'm remembering correctly, looking at that. So you might take a look. And there are other global seminars in other locations in case you wanting to explore outside of the United Kingdom and Ireland. Okay, then if you are still looking for programs and haven't found what you wanted, we do send students on some non-UC programs, and that's called OAP, or Opportunities Abroad Program. And so if you are not finding what you wanted, let's say here in any of the UK summer options, then you can look to other OAP providers to see if they have maybe a different university that you wanted, a different time frame, maybe different criteria, a different program model, a program with an internship, all kinds of different options. And so you can certainly take a look at those. And our affiliated providers are on our website. If you go to the website and you choose find a program and you choose OAP, the link to all of our affiliates are there. But again, it's something that we can help you with down the line. I just wanted to make sure you're aware that there are even more options than the ones that we talked about today. Okay, so what happens now? So you can start to think about, look at your 4-year plan, start to think about degree requirements that you might want to take abroad, if any. And you don't have to meet any requirements while you go abroad. Students can go and take anything that you want, whether it meets a requirement or not, that's entirely up to you. But most students obviously do. They are looking to meet requirements. And so you want to start there, think about them. Obviously, continue to explore your options like we talked about today. Again, please make use of all of the details that are on the UCEAP website. We're happy to help you, interpret some of that if it's not clear. And UCEAP is as well. And then you'll be reviewing, courses with academic advisors, and we'll talk about all of that and get you going on all of those separate pieces. Again, under the resources, the financial aid and scholarships, and then all of the course information, UCEAP courses, as well as others. And so again, we're here to help you, but we need you to do some of the research and planning yourselves and with your academic advisors to help pull all of this together so that it works for you. Okay, and so I see there's some things going on in the chat that I haven't had a chance to look at, and I will, but I can also take questions. And I would say you can message us in virtual advising. Please make sure if you do that you're choosing study abroad as the department in the list, so it comes to us. And then we also have our virtual drop-ins, and the schedule is here. So Monday, Thursday, 1 to 3 p.m., Fridays 10 to 11:30, and that Friday mornings is when Eduardo is on, our financial aid advisor. And so you can reach him then if you're interested in talking about aid specifically, or you can just message him. And again, a lot of this information is on our website. So let me take a look and see what's going on in the chat, if there's anything I can answer, or if anybody has anything else, you can put them in here, or you can unmute or whatever. Can you have a housing contract in progress for summer and keep your housing while being away, meaning here, I assume? So you'd have places in both? I don't know, Megan, if you want to unmute, is that what you meant? Maybe they're not here anymore. Let's see. Okay, so we talked about summer financial aid. And so I would say, again, there's less grant money in summer. And so, in fact, let me, stop sharing. There's less grant money in summer. And so I would say most students will have loan. Again, it depends on your own circumstances. If you were to get a lot of study abroad scholarships, maybe not. But I usually suggest to students to plan for the worst and then hope for the best. So if you are able to get the remaining money through, through any savings you have or scholarships, that's fantastic. If you have to borrow it, are you able to borrow it? Will you borrow it? And so those are just things that you need to think about. But usually you'll need to go through the whole process, get accepted, and then, work with Eduardo, do your financial aid application for next year, although summer aid is based on your current year FAFSA application, not the 25-26 FAFSA, so that's good. And then, sort of see where it goes. One thing that I didn't say is that for UCAP programs, you'll apply early, that November deadline or soon thereafter, but you'll have a date later on, which is usually, I want to say April 1, and it'll be in the application where you can withdraw and without paying any money to EAP. So even though you need to apply early, there is a date later on in the process by which you can withdraw and you won't owe them any money. So that will be in the application so you can see that. So I usually tell students, no harm in applying, go for it, and then see what happens, see if you're able to pull the academics together, the financials together, to be able to go. Will international students be eligible for scholarships? Some of them are available to international students and non-California residents, and some are not. So it just really depends on the scholarship itself, but the answer would be yes. Transfer submitting community college transcripts. It looks like Megan answered that one. Let's see. Oh yeah, Megan answered some of these. That was really nice of her. Correct. The application should be, the UCAP application should be visible now in the UCAP portal for you to see and for you to see the instructions. It's just that you won't actually be able to submit it and actually complete it and submit it until it opens at 9 a.m. on November 14th. And again, so you should be able to log in and see those requirements. Are first year students eligible to apply? Yes. Again, a number of these programs are open to sophomores. And so you can take a look at that eligibility on the program website and see if wherever you're looking applies to you. Most of them are available to sophomores. It's just the few that are not. So yes, and some of you, right, won't have, if you're a first year, you don't have a GPA right now. So that's a question to actually send to Megan at UCAP. I know there's been some discussion about that, whether students can apply and or not. So that would be a good one to send to them. And you can check with us if you forget, and we can connect you with them. So not a problem. I can't answer in terms of best places for anthropology or archaeology at this point. That's a little bit of research you'll need to do on your own. If you go to the UCAP website, you can search the website by academic discipline, and it will pull up programs that during the year as well as summer that it's going to recommend for you based on the courses. But that's the kind of research that you're going to have to do. We don't know all of those answers. So those are some of the things you'll have to take a look at, and you'll find on that academics tab that I mentioned that's so useful for each program. There will be like catalogs for the host institution. There's a UCAP course catalog, which is a historical database of courses that any UC student has taken on that program recently that you can look at. There's also a course database of courses that have been earlier approved by UC San Diego departments for students to meet requirements. So again, there's a lot of information there, and that's where you would start looking for those details. And if you really get stuck, we can certainly help you and direct you to people who can help, probably at the system-wide office, but that's why they're there. So that looks like everything in the chat. Does anybody else have any other questions? Okay, what does the application consist of? Again, it varies by which school you're applying to. So no, it would not necessarily be the same as the host universities. If you're just looking at a host university on their website, not at all. So you need to be careful and just do what UCAP is telling you to do and not do what is on the actual host institution website. So it may end up being the same thing, but you'd want to get that instruction from UCAP and not directly from them in case you don't have to do that, all of that work. Website to see the courses is just the UCAP website. And you're welcome. And then it's just the UCAP website. And then when you get to the specific program, like if you wanted to look at University College London, you would choose that. And then you would see the academics tab on the left. So you could look at the courses. So I hope that helps answer that question. So thank you everybody for being here. Again, this is recorded. It'll be posted on our website at some point if you wanted to reference it again. And you, again, feel free to reach out in virtual advising. If you're on the UCAP website, And there's a tab at the top left, like Discover, I think it says, and then it says Learn about UCAP. You can choose that, and then it will give you the UCAP contacts. So the staff at UCAP, like Megan, who joined us, and you can see and you can look under, United Kingdom. And if you wanted to email somebody directly, again, we can give you that information if necessary, but there are ways that you can see that information as well. So with that, thank you very much for joining, and feel free to reach out and back if you have any additional questions. Thanks, everybody.